Am I good? Hey guys, and welcome to the Lapeef Network. This is Ameera, and I am reclaiming my time. I want to speak to you all about a few things. Let me know in the comments if the sound is not right or if I need to adjust anything. I do know that my camera is being a little bit slow, but c'est la vie. Hi, Team Ameera. Hi, Ace. Hi, Michael. Hi, Keke. Hi, Vina. Hi, Alana. Hi, Chris. Thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate it. And so I guess, look, I'm a little bit nervous because it is my first time joining you all alone. And I think I want to start off with a thought that came to me via my husband. We were talking about something, and he told me that he believes that the reason why America is facing so many problems via relationships is because women, hi Skin Light Caramel, how you doing? So, hey Advitam, hi. He said the reason why we're facing so many problems is because men and women don't have their own spaces. He said, iron sharpens iron. So hi April. So what I got from that is what I want to explain to you all. And I want to point it out to you. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can. Okay, got it. What I wanted to talk to you all about is what I got from that. So, are you ready to begin? Let's begin. And I also have my handy dandy notepad here, just in case. So, hi, Amika. So, this is my theory about this, okay? Now, you all can tell me if I'm wrong or put any input. I am reading the chat as I go. What I took from that is this. In my culture, we have separation of the genders almost at all times. It is very rare that we have men and women in the same spot. So this is a way that, how can I say this? When men are amongst men, they talk about their things that men talk about, which I have no clue. I'm just a woman. And women, we have our own space that the men do not dare to bother. Men, when they see the women speaking, they let them be. And the same thing with women. When we see men speaking, we let them be. So, hold on a second. Take off the glasses. So, what I wanted to say is, I believe that this is part of the reason why our women are so feminine and the men are so masculine. Because if men are constantly around men, they tend to bounce off of one another. Same thing with women. Hi, Hybrid. Hi, JB. Hi, For Justice. Hey, Shana. So tell me what you think about that. And I wanted to elaborate on that as well because I've noticed that in America, all of the spaces are shared. If you can see all the time, men and women are constantly around each other. And if you think that doesn't, hey, Sheree, if you notice, when you're constantly around another person, some of their traits will rub off on you. So men constantly being around women in America, some feminine traits might rub off on them. When women are constantly around men in America, some masculine traits might rub off on them. This camera is really bothering me. I wish there was another way I could change it. Anyway, so that's my point. My point is the mixing of the genders is causing these kind of problems where you have men that are more feminine and women that are more masculine in the United States. And if you all notice, we also have this issue of men invading women's spaces via, if you all know what happened recently, there was a woman in LA. She went to a Korean spa and a man in all his masculine glory was in the spa as well. And he was in the nude as everyone else was. And she did not appreciate that. She was really upset about that and she brought that up. And when I watched that, it just made me remember how women's spaces are no longer respected and neither are men's. Women feel that they can always be in men's spaces and they can speak amongst the men as men. What do you think about that? What do you tend to see when you see this mixing of genders, this free mixing of everyone is equal and everyone is the same. Don't you think that that is causing a problem within our society? Not that I'm saying that there's no problems with the Middle Eastern way. There are. There are problems with that. In the Middle East, because the genders are so separated, which is a little bit too much, you have men being socially awkward amongst women because they don't know how to speak to them, because for them, a woman is a little bit of an alien thing. And, you know, so there's benefits to it, but I think that we should have a balance to it. We shouldn't go the full Middle Eastern way and have everybody separated at all times. But I don't think that we should continue having America where men's spaces are constantly invaded by women and women's spaces are constantly invaded by the men. Hi, Regine. Hi, Sheree. So Sheree agrees. Ameera is awesome. Thank you. You said the water of Allah is flowing out from you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And Anne says, women are so easily manipulated. We co-signed our own demise. Agreed. Agreed. But how can I say this? No one saw this coming, supposedly. No one saw this coming when they said that our society will be equal, right? Everyone will be equal and we will all just be these, I guess, almost genderless people where, you know, men are equal to women. We're all the same, you know. So I want to hear what you all think about that. So Red Pill says, as soon as men tell women, wait, went too fast, 1 second. Red Pill says, as soon as men tell women not to do something, they overdo it to their own detriment. And Alicia says, you acknowledge a male presence even on the show. Western women remain the same no matter who is in the room. Correct, correct. And that is something that you all have pointed out that I actually didn't know that I did. Someone kept pointing it out on the channel. When my husband walks in the room, that my demeanor changes. I think that it should. I think that when you have men in your presence, you shouldn't act the same as you would otherwise. And Alana, hi Alana, she says, Ameera, your husband is 100% correct. We Western people lost the sacredness of genders. I agree. And that's one thing that I hope that we can bring back in the United States as well. Because women being amongst women makes us more feminine. Because if you notice, I'll give you an example. A child raised up amongst women will have, most likely, she will have a higher pitched voice. She will tend to be more, how can I say this? More delicate, more fragile, more soft. I guess that's the same thing as delicate. There are things that she's going to exhibit. She's going to exhibit things in her personality that shows that she has been raised up amongst proper women. Same thing with men. If you have a boy who's grown up around women, he may tend to act a little bit more feminine. But if you have a boy that's raised up around men, okay, those men know how to make a new man. Women know how to make a new woman. Women do not know how to make a man. Men do not know how to make a woman. The only thing a man can do is make a woman to his, how can I say, you can make her to your liking, but making her an actual woman takes other women. Do you agree? David says proper is the key word. I guess so. You could say that. You could say that, you know, but I guess that does require elder women, the women and the elders, they have to be a good example. So yeah, that could be one of the issues that you might find. Regine says, women raised around women will affect her positively if these women are like Ameera. I appreciate that. I hope you guys are enjoying your Saturday. Man, this Saturday for me has been nuts. I have just been so I hope you guys have been having a better weekend than I have. Hi, Rila. How are you doing? Oh, God, I sound so Indian. How are you doing today? Hi, JB. Somebody said hashtag no JB tonight. No, he's here. Bria says you need to have elders with wisdom. Precisely. Another thing that I've noticed in the West, especially in America, is that a lot of people do not value their elders here. The elders are seen as a bother, slow, annoying. In our culture, they are gold for us. And when they are no longer able to do for themselves, we do for them because they did for us when we couldn't do for ourselves. Valuing your elders is another way to bring society back around. But I've noticed also in America that a lot of the elders don't want to be elders. You guys know what I mean by that. I mean, a lot of the elders are still competing with the young girls. Like the elder women are still competing with the younger girls, and the elder men are still competing with the younger men. We have to have elders that are proud to arrive at that elder stage, that respect that comes with gray hairs and sore knees. There is something that is so precious about that stage of life, and we should value them because these are the ones that are going to train those 30-year-olds how to act so that the children can see the 30-year-old as a model, as a role model. Sheree says, respecting your elders, Sheree says, respecting your elders is a way of understanding life that may come your way. Because elders have a different way of thinking of things. You see it. You see how they've been through it already. Most of the issues, we all think all of these things are new. Nothing is new. Everything that happens today has already happened before, maybe in a different fashion, but it's happened. So our elders are wiser than us, and we must soak up their wisdom. Samuel says, I haven't seen you in glasses. Well, I brought my glasses because I do have a few notes, and I wanted to speak on a few things that that I've seen from other streams that I wanted to address, because I don't want to just let those kind of things just be out there in the air, and people tend to just believe things if you don't actually address them, if you don't rebut them. So that's the way it is. Anne says, my elder dad had a stroke and still doesn't want to slow down or stop partying with the young ones. And he won't let us, his kids, take care of him because it's control. I see. I see. We have that in my family as well. My father-in-law is like that. He thinks that he's just as strong as he was when he was 30. I tell him all the time, Baba, no. But I think that's another thing with men. Men, they don't want to let their strength go. You know, have you heard that some men say that they won't stop working until they die simply because if they sit down, they feel they're going to die? I recommend stay around him, be there for him, and give him little things that he doesn't know that he needs so he can realize your value and that he does need you. Michael says, hi, Michael. He says, I think one big problem in America is we are an era of zero accountability for women. Well, I didn't know we were going to get this deep, but yeah. The accountability issue is not, I want to say it's all over. It's for the men and women, but mostly, yes, realize, say Baba. Baba. For us, Baba is daddy. Right. The accountability issue is for men and women's, but women tend to be struggling more. And we all know why. We all know why. It's all because this feminism push that we have in the United States. I don't know how many people here are feminists, but if you all know me, I'm probably the biggest anti-feminist you'll ever meet. So sorry, feminists, but I do have my reasons and I'm not afraid to state them. I'm anti-feminist. The feminist movement is kind of a way to paint us women as these vulnerable, defenseless, somewhat slow, we can't do anything wrong, type of people, and I don't appreciate that because I feel like you're making me look weak when I'm not. So, Team Ameera, wait, what did you say, Team Ameera? You said a lot of jinns in the chat. Jinn. If you guys don't know what jinns are, they're kind of like ghosts, kind of like spirits around. So, Young 8411 says Kay is punching air right now. What does that mean? What does that mean? Dave says, I'm a breath of fresh air. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And then Kenshawn Holistic Health says, Baba equals baby kids and the inner city community. So you were right on track. I have no idea what that means. I'm sorry. Okay. So I think I'm getting off track here. Back to the topic. So yeah, so accountability, right? Accountability. And another thing is that women can do no wrong in this country. And that is a huge issue. When we say that women can do no wrong, whatever happens to us is never our fault. I don't know if I should actually speak on this because it is kind of something that's, I'll do it anyway. I'm sorry, JR. Sorry, JR. But I want to speak on this really quickly. Someone brought up like people like actually I can't do it. I can't say it because it's gonna sound weird. It might sound too strong, and I don't want to trigger anyone if they've been assaulted or have had any issues. So I'll just leave that there. We'll talk about it next time. I'll speak to JR about it first. So anyway, I'll just get started on the notes then, since I think we're pretty good here. Let me see. Mel says, speak your mind, Ameera. No, I can't do it. I can't. I can't. There's no way. Okay. So I'll get to the notes that I have here. So I was watching Courtney's live stream, and I was just looking at some videos on the Lapeef Network, and there were some things that I just wanted to address with everyone, if you don't mind. Sweet Lulu says, does your family watch your content? Yes, on my channel, yes. And on this network, yes, they have seen 2 videos. They've seen 2 of the videos, and they really enjoy watching because they say the difference in opinions and the difference in views is good for everyone. It's good for me to listen to other points of view as well, because I may be ignorant in a few things that I don't know either. But that's why I'm here too, because it's not just you learning from me, I'm learning from you. I have a chance, which is very unique. I have a chance right now to hear things and understand things that I otherwise would not have. Does that make sense? When I get labeled something, it's kind of rough because Charlie. It's kind of rough because I'd rather you guys tell me in which way I was wrong, where I was incorrect, rather than maybe assuming something about me. Because I am here to listen. I will hear you all out, and I will correct my mind if I am incorrect on something. I'm listening. So I hope you all hear me out. Right. So let's see, 1 minute. So there was one issue that was brought up on, I think, Courtney's live stream, and it said that Ameera is different on her channel than on the Lapeef Network. And I want to address that. Yes, I am different on Lapeef Network because we're not talking about the subjects that actually get me riled up. The subjects that get me riled up has to do with money, politics, and that's pretty much it. Honestly, money really makes me worried because it matters. Money matters. And whether we like it or not, money is making the world go round. So yes, and politics matters to me because it kind of shows the direction in which we're going. And when I see things, hi Dem, oh my God, Dem Detox is here. Hi Dem Detox. Thank you. Dem says leftists don't want opposing views. Someone who thinks differently is shedding light on their propaganda and lies. The wage gap is a lie. Beauty myth is a lie. Go work the same jobs men do. I agree. I do agree. But we're not going to get into the wage gap right now because we're not talking politics here. Damn detox. Don't get me in trouble. Right. So they said that I would act differently on this channel than I do on my own. And that is true because, like I said, those topics are the ones that really get me riled up. When I'm talking about culture and relationships and so on, I have to respect JR's platform. JR brought me on as a guest in the beginning, and I will not disrespect him by coming onto his channel and trying to dominate the conversation. That would be very rude of me, and we've seen guests come on the network and completely poop all over the carpet. That's not what I'm here to do. I respect JR's platform, and I wouldn't come in here trying to dominate the conversation speaking about politics when this is not a political show. So yes, I act different. Let me see. And also something was said that I said that we shouldn't have a black president, and I wanted to address that as well. I did say that I didn't like Obama. Uh, Heads up, I am a conservative. I don't like Obama. I didn't like Obama's policies. I didn't like how Charlie. I didn't like how Obama. There's if you really want to speak about it really quickly, just to get it out of the air. I didn't like Obama because Obama entered his presidency saying that he would not promote the LGBT marriage because he was completely against it. But 2 years later into his presidency, he changed. And I don't know what made him change, but he did. And then he legalized the LGBT marriage. In my view, because I am conservative, I believe that LGBT should be able to have a civil union, but I always believe that they should never be able to get married in a church, mosque, or a synagogue, because clearly the lifestyle is not promoted by those religions. Under those religions, the LGBT lifestyle is an abomination. So how are we going to say that these people are going to get married under a religious institution whilst being an abomination? The other reason I didn't like Obama, and this may upset a few. I hope you don't get upset, but I'm going to be completely honest because that's what I'm here for. The other reason I didn't like Obama is because under Obama's administration, we saw race relations in this country intensify in a bad way. Race relations completely went down the gutter. There were a lot of problems that we didn't have before, but we ended up having them under Obama's administration. I thought of it this way. I thought of it like, was it because we had our first president that wasn't the typical white guy? I was thinking that. And another reason is because Black Lives Matter, if you all know Black Lives Matter was created under Obama's administration. So I was under the impression we had our first president that was not a white man. And under this administration, we ended up having Black Lives Matter be born. That confused me because I said, okay, well, you would think things would get better, but they got worse. And Obama did not help. Obama also made things tensious by the things that he said. And we don't have to get into it. I go through it all on my channel, but it's a lot to speak about. So those are some of the reasons why I didn't like Obama. Now, everyone has their own reasons, but these were mine. Moving on. Let me see, 1 second. Oh, I saw that Rila had spoken on Courtney's stream, and he had mentioned, he said, he said, would we let an Arab man come and talk shit about the BC, the Black community on this channel? and then put him on a pedestal over here on a Black platform. That's just about right. Really, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's here. So he said, would we allow an Arab man to do the same thing? What I wanted to bring up there was I never spoke I never spoke shit about the Black community. I never said that the Black community was trash. That was Anton. I only spoke about politics on my channel. Never once have I disrespected the Black community. So I just want you to be fair in what you're saying. Even if you have a disagreement with me, please be fair. Because to be honest, I didn't do that. So moving on. Let me see. 1 minute, guys. I'm just trying to find. I think that was all. I guess that's it. And yeah, the other one was saying that Ameera disrespects the BC and that Courtney had every right to check her. And that's what I was wondering about as well. I'm like, you know, honestly, if there was an actual point that we wanted to debate, I'm open to debate the point. But it just kind of seems like if I say anything because I'm not Black, I can't have a view. I can't have an opinion. And I want to be here and be open. I don't want to go off into my corner again and keep maybe my views. If I have ignorant views, I want them to be debated. I want us to debate the point. Where was I incorrect? If there's something that I've said that was incorrect, I would like for it to come out factually. Factually, you said this, and this is not true because of this, this, and this. I'm here to listen. But if the point is, you said this and it was offensive, well, sometimes thank you, Rila. Thank you, I appreciate it. So yeah, if the point is that I'm offensive, well, that's nothing new. I am offensive, I understand that, but am I incorrect is my point. Where am I incorrect? What facts did I say that were incorrect? That's what I want to know. I think Kay had the same issue because Kay said that she's never wrong because what she says is her opinion. Not. But I'm still open to being wrong. I'm not saying I'm never wrong. I know I can be wrong. Hence, while I'm here, that's why I'm here, to take the smoke, take the heat. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm proud to be able to speak with people of different opinion. I'm here for it. So I want to see what you guys are saying in the chat. Let me see. Oh, I can't. Oh, let me. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. I'm reading. You said, "Are you open to having a show with Courtney? Apparently, she has clips from your show that she thinks prove that you're racist." Yeah, I told Courtney that I was willing to have the conversation. Yeah, racist, I'm not. Offensive, maybe, but racist, no. Someone says, 1 second. Amika says, "Speak your mind." Thank you, Amika. Let's see. He said, race, first off, oh, sorry, this is Penn. Penn says, first off, race issues didn't start or intensify more. They had already been under Bush, Reagan, Clinton, etc. So that argument. No, there were issues, of course, but we noticed that we didn't have the need for a group like BLM at that time. But under Obama's administration, things intensified. You cannot say that you didn't see that things intensified under Obama's administration. Everyone saw it because a lot of people were confused. Like, why are we going back down? There were studies done, and they were asked between, I believe, the early 90s up to the mid 2000s, between 2000 and 2010, there were studies done and census done asking people about their intolerance towards one another and their intolerance towards interracial marriage and so on and so forth. Back in the 70s, it was very high, the intolerance. And if you look at these statistics, those numbers were going down very steadily. And in the 90s, they completely plummeted. People were very open to interracial marriage. People were very open to basically accepting every type of, can you say culture? Every type of culture, every type of person. Then 2012 came, I believe it was 2012, and then things just completely went to crap. So that's what I wanted to bring up with you. Happy Daily says, I care about policies as a Muslim woman. I can't support liberal views. It's hypothetical to me to support things that go against my belief system. I think you meant hypocritical, not hypothetical, hypocritical. But right, I feel the same way because, like I said, I'm Muslim, I'm religious, and yeah, a lot of the things on the left go against my core values. T. Coop says, did you ever say blacks were too dumb to be president? No, I did not say blacks were dumb. No, I did not say that. Let's see. I'm reading, hold on a second. JJ says, many people feel the same way about Obama, black and white. Courtney was wrong making assumptions about Islam. By the way, BW, living in the Middle East for over a decade. You're living in the Middle East? You've been there for over a decade? I wonder what country you're in. So I want to open up a little bit. I want to open up the call lines so that we can actually have the conversation if you're willing to chat with me. So, I can't say your name. I can't say your name. Hold on. The UK investor. Okay. You said, what are your core values? I have many, but I would say my main values are keeping the families between husband, wife, children, and elders. And I would say keeping the government as far out of your life as possible because the government has no purpose in making your decisions of your life. Or, sorry, not like that. The government shouldn't be involved in your life that much. And keeping taxes low. I love low taxes. And Dim Detox says, FYI, yes, Obama working in conjunction with DSA along with funding directly from CCP had a hand in intensifying race relations. So that user's comment is wrong. There was a lot of things under Obama that you know, we could spend the whole night going on about that, but this is not the place for it. But yes, that Obama, a lot of people don't know a lot of things about Obama's presidency. Not cooperating to the government, right? So if you want to call in, I would love to speak with you all. We can speak about iron, sharpening iron, and women's and men's spaces. Whatever you want to speak about, I'm here.
Oh.
Hey, Sheree.
Hey, how are you, Ameera?
I'm doing good.
That's good. That's good. I want to ask you before I say anything else. I wanted to ask you, did you start your YouTube channel before or after you were married?
No, I was married already when I started my channel.
Was that intentional?
To be married and then start the channel?
No, not the married part. Is that intentional? Of course, that was intentional. But no, was it intentional to start your channel before or after you were married, or was that something that just happened?
It just happened. Honestly, okay. It happened because as time went on, I realized that I was playing on the wrong side because I used to be a Democrat. I used to be a liberal, okay. And I didn't realize how wrong or how my values did not align. You know, like, of course, I'm anti-abortion. I'm anti-LGBT marriage in religious institutions. I believe that they should have a civil union, which is, yeah, which is still kind of a marriage, but it's just not religious.
Got it. That makes sense.
And so on and so forth. I realized how wrong I was on that side. And I realized that the conservative side was more me. Not that I'm saying I'm Republican, because the Republican Party is a complete crap show. Okay, let's not have any worshiping of the Republican Party because they are crap. But they align a little bit more with my values, so I tend to go that way, unfortunately. Yeah.
Okay. And then I also wanted to ask you about, because you said something about because I don't know, I don't want to get your words mixed up, and you could correct me, of course, if I'm wrong. But you said, oh, okay, I think you just said that during Obama's administration, it didn't make sense during the Black Lives Matter that things seemed to get worse in the Black community. Is that what you
Right.
were implying? What is
Yeah.
it about you don't understand?
Well, I guess I my thing was, and this is good that I actually have a conversation with you because, like I said, if I'm ignorant in anything,
Yeah.
I'm here to learn.
Right.
So, in my view, this is just my view, under Obama, it seemed like race relations got so tense because before we didn't see that in the media that they were pushing this certain narratives in the
Mm-hmm.
media. So I don't know if it was the media's fault or is it that things really did get bad.
Okay.
I want to say, when did the Trayvon Martin incident happen? It was 2012, wasn't it?
I
Because I
believe.
think that's when, huh?
No, I was going to say I was agreeing with you.
Okay, I believe it was in 2012, and I think that's when Black Lives Matter started.
Mm-hmm.
So
After Trayvon.
Black Lives Matter started then,
Right.
and after that, I noticed that there was an insane push for like only pushing like police violence that was shown against the African American community, but the same thing was happening in the white community, but they never showed it.
Right.
I'll give you an example. Quick example would be George Floyd's death, which, like I said, I don't agree with at all.
Mm-hmm.
But there was other things that happened, like another man named Tony Timpa. Tony Timpa died in the same fashion as George Floyd. He died
Mm-hmm.
before George Floyd. He
Mm-hmm.
was put in the same pen that George Floyd was put in, only
Mm-hmm.
he was held longer than George Floyd.
Okay.
He was held down for 14 minutes while George Floyd was held down for
Okay.
8 and some seconds. He died just like that, and they laughed at this man when he died. They rolled his body around, and the police were laughing.
Mm-hmm.
So my point is, police violence is happening everywhere, all around the board, but the media tends to only push it when it's an African American who dies.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's right. I think police violence should be addressed, but
Mm-hmm.
it should be addressed by all of us. All of us should say the police are doing a bad job.
So I have a question though, because
Yeah.
I'm not aware of the case that you're talking about. Did that police officer see any the police officers that were involved? Did he get any justice? The guy, did they family
He
get
did
any
not.
justice?
He did not.
Okay, okay, because I think
And that's
that's a
another
lot.
thing.
When it comes to us talking about Black Lives Matter, it's about the justice thing, not so much of them killing us, because that's always been happening. It's never been like it's a secret or nothing like that, you know.
Mm,
So when we talk about that, we're really talking about getting justice. When it comes to the Black Lives Matter and Obama and things may seem worse, no, it's just bringing to light what we already knew. So I
mm.
think it was just the fact that you didn't know that it existed. We still knew it existed. It just came to light because we have a black face in front
Can
of
I say,
representing
can
America.
I, oh, I'm sorry. What did you say?
No, just saying we have an actual black face representing America, which was Obama, which is the reason why things came to light. The same way when Trump went into office and we got to saw all the bigots come to light because you have the face of a bigot, you know, as the president. So it's like, so it's just like you may not know you have mice in your house until you see some bread with some mice bites. It's the same thing. You know what I mean?
Well, okay, I hear you out. I do hear you. One thing that I wanted to say to that is regarding justice.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't, do you know how many black men die at the hands of police a year on average?
No, not really. And I don't
Okay,
know how to
I'm
go
sorry,
too
I
in the
meant
comment section
unarmed,
for that.
unarmed black men. Sorry, I meant unarmed black men,
Okay.
not armed. So
Okay.
if you look on average, it's about, I believe, nine, nine. Don't get me wrong, I gotta pull up, but it's a very low number. Not
Mm-hmm.
saying that that's okay. That's not okay at all.
Mm-hmm.
But it's around nine unarmed black men that die at the hands of police every year.
Okay.
When you look at how many unarmed white men die at the hands of police a year,
Mm-hmm.
God, I wish I should bring up the numbers because this isn't, it's not fair, but it's significantly more. The
Okay.
point is that we know that the police have been violent. We know that the police have a problem with overusing their power.
Right.
And that is not just a race thing.
Okay.
And I commend the Black community for standing up and saying, okay, for our race, we're going to stand up. But we don't see white people doing that either. And it's like, we should be standing together against the police force overusing their power and overstepping their boundaries. Because this is an American issue. It's not mostly an African American issue.
Right.
And
I don't want to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I understand that the numbers may be higher in the white community. You don't have the numbers in order for me to really come to this conclusion, but I can assume because white people populate America more than us, the numbers may still seem you get what I'm saying? So that's
I wanted to address that as well, because I get that said to me all the time, and I did study this. That's why I say I'm not just speaking out of place of just like guessing. Okay.
Right.
I've looked at this. I've looked at the sense.
Yeah.
Right. So when we talk about population versus what's happening, African Americans in general have more encounters with the police than whites do, regardless of the population. When we're talking about encounters with the actual police, African Americans have more encounters with police than the white community. Right. So even with more encounters with the police than whites, they still get murdered less.
Okay.
That's not the point. The point is police violence is bad in this country, and we should stand together against it. Okay. What do you think?
I do know that white people do get killed by the police. For anybody who didn't know, I don't know if you're living under a rock, but it's not. Of course they do. I mean, it's not just us. I think when it comes to the numbers and the ratio, like I said, we don't have the information about that, but I do know we do get pulled over more. Also, I think a lot of times when it comes to fighting for equality, it's not just for the simple fact that things are happening. It's just also the way we are depicted in the media, because in most cases we do not control the media, which is why a lot of people are fighting for us to control certain areas and to have our own media. So things may be pushed a little bit more. I can use my area, Chicago, as an example, because anybody who lives in Chicago, they know and understand that there's gentrification going on right now in Chicago. I know it's probably happening a lot more other major cities, but I know in Chicago, they start pushing the killings and everything in Chicago. We rarely saw killings and people killing each other in the Black community on Chicago news. All of a sudden started happening. Then you saw these signs of brand new Chicago, and then you start seeing them fixing the red line, fixing all these that's transportation in Chicago. I'm sorry. That's public transportation trains in Chicago. And we start seeing those things. And I think they're pushing I think overall was pushing a certain narrative for us to look bad more than who we are. And it's something that we know, something that we understand. And if you don't live in our shoes, you don't necessarily see it, so you don't understand. You can understand how some people may see certain things and not necessarily, and can get particularly pushed with their mind a certain way if they're not an independent thinker, if you understand what I'm saying.
So when you say that, is the mayor of Chicago white?
It's a Black lesbian woman.
Okay. And the chief of police in Chicago,
mayor ever in Chicago.
What about the chief of police in Chicago?
I'm sorry, Harold.
No.
Go ahead.
What about the chief of police in Chicago? Is this a Black person or white?
I think he just got fired. The Black we did have a Black one. I don't know who the new one is, and someone could kill me. Go ahead, Rilla, please tell me. I know Rilla's in there. Rilla, tell me, who is the new one? Or Lightfoot fired him. Just let him go.
No, I mean, look, the point that I'm just trying to point out is a lot of the cities that we see that are having these hard times, like Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore.
Right.
These are not run by, as we call it, white people. They're not run by white people.
Okay.
These are cities that are run by African Americans. So,
well,
when we talk
before she
about
got
the
into office, this was happening prior to she got in office. Lori Lightfoot hasn't been in office that long. So this is something she's just picking up from. We had a white man who was in office for years before she got in there. So this is not one of those things where we can necessarily say, hey, but it's ran by, nah, it's always been happening. You know what I mean? It was a old white guy before then.
okay,
Yeah.
possibly, yeah.
It
Well,
was.
then
It
then
was.
okay, then
Yeah.
I can I guess I can say that. I mean, I guess your point is because I'm not black, I can't understand it. I can't
Yeah. To
understand
a degree.
violence.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
it's different. It's like when someone comes to you and try to tell you about the Muslim community and they not even Muslim, you know what I mean? Or they're not
Hmm.
Lebanese or anything like that. They didn't live in the Middle East or nothing. And yet
Hmm.
they have things to say. So it's kind of different.
Although I live in America, but that doesn't count,
Yeah,
right?
that's
That
not the
doesn't.
point. You know, you still
Oh,
got family, you could go back home and all that good stuff, you know?
yeah.
So
Okay.
I know you live in America, but you know,
Hmm.
you have your culture and you brought it back home. Um I don't know
Okay.
if you were born here. That's just me saying something, but but
Okay then. But I appreciate that. Thank you so much for clarifying that for me. I
mhm.
appreciate it. Thank you
Yeah,
so
no
much,
problem.
Sheree.
No
Thank you.
problem. You yeah, enjoy the rest of your night and I'm here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. See you. That was nice. Hi, Clue.
Ameera, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Um, in the black community, I'm a conservative, and in the black community, they consider us sellouts. My question to you is, in the Muslim community, you're a conservative. Do they consider you a sellout?
Yep, they do. I think I spoke with Anton about this. I'm constantly called. You know, the thing that they mostly say to me is that me defending those type of values, the values of whatever Republican values I have or conservative values I have, they say that Republicans don't really love me and that they're going to hang me whenever they get the chance or deport me whenever they get the chance. And I haven't been deported yet, but they said, well, when Trump was president, that I would get deported for sure, and I still haven't been deported. But maybe eventually, I'll get deported.
I mean, eventually it'll happen.
Eventually.
I mean, you know what boggles my mind in 2020 is the black church. The black church rides so hard for the Democratic Party. But
Well, the same thing is in my community too. They love the Democrat Party as well.
but you know, but when the lockdown came, they locked down the churches first, and then the churches were the last to reopen. That should
And
have
that's
let them
something.
know
Yep,
that the Democratic Party is not for God or Christianity, period.
they don't. Right. That's true. That's
But
true. That's
this,
something that Trump pointed out as well. But a lot of people don't like Trump still. So
they still rock with the Democratic Party.
yeah,
After everything that
I
happened in 2020, they'll still vote for another Democrat. They'll still do it.
yeah. Yeah, I
And
think
that
the
boggles my
most
mind.
offensive thing is the Democrat Party because the Democrat Party will tell you in your face, if you don't vote for me, then you're not such and such, right? And
And you
they
ain't
just talk.
black.
I can't say it, but they're
I
so
can say it.
disrespectful. They're so disrespectful to people. And when Joe Biden said that, I was certain that he wouldn't get any votes.
No,
But
no, no,
it
no,
didn't
no, no,
happen.
no, no. You
It
were
didn't happen
wrong.
that way.
You were wrong. When
Hmm.
Joe Biden said that, he knew he would get more votes because that's how Negroes think.
Oh. I mean,
It's
I think it
sad.
goes beyond that. It's not even a color issue to me. It's more like people are kind of used to. I think it's this. I'm going to be honest with you.
Uh-huh.
What I see from the left and the Democrat Party is that they kind of cater to minorities. They kind of tell, like you have illegal crossings, people crossing over illegally, and they tell you, well, if you vote for us, you won't be deported, and we'll let you into Middle America with no problem. We will give
Right.
you your papers because you struggled so hard to come here. And for even my community as Arab, they tell us like, Trump doesn't like you. He wants to bomb the Middle East, but always forgetting how much Obama bombed my Middle East. Obama obliterated the Middle East.
Yes, he did.
Trump made 5 historic peace deals in the Middle East, my Middle East, so that we wouldn't have fighting. Did you notice that when Biden became president, all of a sudden tensions with Israel and Palestine exploded, and now they're at war again?
How could you expect less? Of course.
But I'm not supposed to say that because I'm supposed to always go for the Democrat Party because they said they're less racist. So
the Democratic Party is the most racist party there is, because
that's how I feel. But
there's, in my opinion, there's a specific kind of racism that everybody brushes off their shoulders. It's the bigotry of low expectations.
Exactly. Bigotry of low expectation.
And nobody ever calls them out on it.
No.
Nobody ever does it.
No. I mean, a lot of people see it as the Democrat Party liking them and giving them a leg up, but that's not true.
Giving people money has never helped them.
It's never helped.
Never helped. But the Democratic Party says, vote for me and I'll give you money. I'll give you money, government programs, welfare. I'll give you tons of money if you vote for me. Giving people money has never helped anybody. Show me where giving people a whole lot of money has helped them. I'll wait.
I don't have an example right now.
Okay.
I really don't. You can't just keep throwing money at a problem because money will just disappear anyway. Money will be spent and then you're still in the same position that you were in the beginning. Exactly. You must build your own wealth. You must build your own in order to value it. If you don't build it and you don't work for it, you won't value it yourself. And that goes for everybody.
You don't have the satisfaction of a day's work. That's what this whole UBI thing is. The UBI thing is to remove the satisfaction of a day's work from people. You just sit at home and collect a check.
I agree. I completely agree. Like I said, you have people who come here from different countries and they, asking for handouts and all of this. It's unheard of. We just got to work and we made it. We've made it here. So, yeah, thank you, Clue. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you very much, and welcome to the Lapeef Network.
I'm so happy to be here.
The greatest show on earth.
It really is. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hey, shalom.
Hi, shalom. Hi, welcome.
So is this a movie review stream?
I'm sorry?
Were you reviewing a movie on the screen?
I'm not sure what you're speaking about. That was strange.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm not sure what you're speaking about.
How you doing? I just wanted to talk a little bit about what y'all was saying about the Democratic Party. Hey, how you doing?
KJ, I think you have the TV playing.
A little bit about
take off the
Democratic Party. Hey, how you doing?
KJ, I think you have the Yikes. Okay, no YouTube playing, no other screens. JB! Hi, JB.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. So, like, a few things. I heard you said about Obama and about how it became more racist during his administration. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? I think you said that race relations went down when during the problem. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? How did it go down?
Well, we had the creation of Black Lives Matter under the Obama administration, which we never had before. We had the media constantly pushing the narrative that the police are only targeting one group of people, which is untrue, and so on.
Okay. How much Black history do you know about history in America? Like about Black folks in America and how much violence they had to undergo while living in America. much history?
I know quite a bit of Black history. Like I said, I've read Thomas Sowell's books. Is there something in particular that you want me to know?
No, because I guess for me, it's like when you're talking about the plight of another culture, I think trying to understand it from the perspective on the outside looking in is going to be very difficult because this is something that we live on a day-to-day basis. Like there's all types of stuff coming at you in media. You have to like contend with your environment and things of that nature. These things sit in the back of a lot of Black people's minds, and I guess they hear you say like certain things like we have a Black mayor, and then there's violence, but this is something that's been in effect for quite some time, and then this historical discrimination that has played a major role into why you see the things you see here today. Systemic racism, redlining, police brutality, um, unfair housing, racist housing, and the list.
Well, JB, just really quickly, I get what you're trying to say. You're trying to say like, I guess I'm unable to
No, hold on. I'm back.
Is that pizza?
No, it's just a book I think you should check out. It's called The Color of Law.
Okay, so I wanted to speak to you on that.
Okay.
You're basically saying that I can't understand human concepts because my skin isn't dark, or that I'm not a Black person. But I wanted to tell you, I live in America. I'm only speaking on the things that we see currently. And as for redlining, it was made illegal a long time ago. And people are still arguing that even though it is illegal, that it's still happening. Even if, I'll give it to you like this.
But redlining.
One minute, JB. Let me tell you something just really quickly.
Okay.
I want to tell you this. When you see, I don't know, maybe Asians, when they come to this country, a lot of them live in not the best neighborhoods. But they, because of certain mentality, they tend to make their neighborhoods better than what they were. They come and they make neighborhoods better. Have you ever seen a bad neighborhood and you see, I don't know, maybe you can say whites and Asians start moving in? They make it better because they clean it up, they build up. When you have a neighborhood, it doesn't have to be bad if you don't let it be bad. You and your neighborhood, you and your community can fix those things. We all can fix.
The thing is, you can do what you want in your neighborhood, but when you don't control the politics, you don't control where that money gets routed. For example, public school. Public school is funded by property taxes. So if you live in an area with a lot of apartments or the average income is very low, your school is going to get less money and less resources, and you're going to be less educated, and you're not going to be educated the same way as a person who lives in a neighborhood that has a higher income.
So what resource do you think, what do you think that certain communities aren't getting because they have less money?
Oh, they're not getting good teachers, up-to-date equipment, up-to-date books, like things like coding, technology, things that are important for kids to learn so they can be competitive in the future. They're not getting that. Like me, like I learned coding at the age of 27. Imagine if I would have learned it as a kid. Like this is something that should be introduced to Black kids, young Black males, because
do you know that there are, especially in New York, so I only know about New York, and in New York there are schools that are in bad neighborhoods that get more funding than a lot of the other schools that are in better neighborhoods. They even get more funding because they get the free lunch services, they get all of these things that taxpayers are throwing into it. When you talk about people not having enough resources, 1 minute, JB, 1 minute. So you're talking about people not having a good teacher or not having technology. When you have people coming from even China, people in China, they are sitting on dirt floors and they're still learning whatever needs to be learned. To say that we need to have the best of technology in order to learn is, I mean, it's a luxury, yes, but it's not necessary for you to learn.
It's not just that, it's one piece. So you go to a school that's crappy, go to a school, teacher may not care. On top of that, you may live in an environment where it's violent. There's gangs, you have to contend with that.
Well, you were talking about schools, but you're changing the subject to gangs.
No, it's not subject, because you got to understand it's not just one piece. It's a multitude of things. You can't understand white supremacy or the system and just say, okay, this piece, well, you have this, that, and the third, and so what's wrong with you? Why are you not making it? It's not that simple. You operate within the system. So when I was talking about redlining, like a lot of neighborhoods in the past, like in the 50s, 60s, were called red zones, and a lot of these places couldn't get.
I know what red zones are. I wanted to point out something.
Hold on. So if you understand these things, understand how Black folks have been marginalized in this country, and time again, there's so many examples showing you Black folks trying to have economic power, economic growth, and then you would have the system find some way to take it from them, and you're not understanding how politics plays a role and how the culture that you come from, you guys play politics.
Well, politics plays a huge role. JB, I have to be able to speak. You can't just have a monologue here. Let me just address something. When you talk about politics, I agree. Politics does play a huge role. But when you have people, let me ask you this: do you believe in school choice? Do you believe that parents should be able to choose where their kids go?
Absolutely.
I believe in school choice as well. That's something that was pushed by Trump, but the Democrats refused it. They said that wherever you live, you must go to the school that's in your zip code or something like that, some your area, your community. I believe in certain things. If you want to talk about politics, we have people voting for the same. 1 minute. We have people voting for the same people that give them nothing. These Democratic policies have brought these neighborhoods down, and people still keep voting for them.
Votes don't mean nothing. You need money. You can't just go vote. That's step 2. Step 1, you have to get money. Okay. When you get money, then you can go to a politician and say, okay, this is my agenda. I need this law. I need this business provision, and I need this protection around it.
Well, usually that's where we have the men in the family usually do that. They usually protect the children and keep the children out of gangs.
Hold on. Let me speak. The culture you come from, you guys do that. You guys pull your money together, pull your resources together, and petition the government for resources. But for us, a group like Black folks in America, you need wealth in order to like push forward. If you don't have wealth, you're not gonna get no agendas passed. You're gonna be able to get pushed out of your neighborhood, and you're not gonna be able to do nothing about it because this politics is at play. These things have been planned, they're precise, and this is just how they roll. And unfortunately, a lot of Black people get rolled up under it because they don't really understand what's going on. It's just gentrification. Some do, but a lot don't. And they see there's something going on and there's something wrong, and the only thing they're missing is education. Like for me, for instance, I'm an atheist, I'm an independent, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican. Republicans are not defenders of capitalism at all. They vote for expansion of government on both sides of the aisle. So I don't trust neither one. So I'm an independent, I'm an atheist. I've studied economics. I understand now. I used to be a Democrat, but I'm not. Once you become educated and informed, then you can make better decisions. But a lot of people,
I do agree, JB. We should all come together and make things better. I agree. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate your viewpoint.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Chris! Hi, Chris.
Thank you for having me. I've been wanting to talk to you.
I know. I saw you last time. I watched your whole life story.
I'm no different from anybody else that's struggling. To me, it's just what I feel. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you and your family for making it, because I did hear your first very excellent job. I really appreciate seeing people who have come from nothing and just work hard and get it. Congratulations. That is my bottom heart true congratulations to you.
I have to say the same thing to you, Chris, because there's a lot of people saying that you need a lot of money in order to get a good education. Can you tell me something about education and how education is free in this country up until the 12th grade? And what did you do? Did you have a lot of money to get educated?
Education for me when I lived in Syracuse, New York, was free. Free not just for me, for anybody who wanted to go to school. And it was my choice, just like it would be anybody else's choice to go to school, go to class, do my homework in my free time, I read books over and over and over again to get good grades. It was just a choice that we all can make.
It is.
And when you get good grades, you're going to move up in America, unless, you're already born with, family with money or something like that. But nothing was given to me. I mean, as I hear these conversation about money come from disadvantage, it's like a hamster wheel of problem. It all starts out, for instance, we're saying that the Black communities are having a disadvantage, the Black kids, right, in school, because they don't have all this. Well, let's go back even further. Why are these kids being born at a disadvantage? Let's think about that. The people who are born, having these kids, why don't they do not have a kid until you are financially able to take care of them? Does that make sense?
Right.
I mean, I don't disrespect anybody wanting to have kids, but you got to have the resources. And having kids, I don't have kids, but I understand and I empathize and I sympathize. It is no joke. 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. It's just not popping a kid out. Now you're a parent. You've got to teach them. It takes so much energy, so much effort to raise a child. To bring a child in this world, you want him or her to have this advantage. You've got to be able to provide for them.
Correct. Now, I want to ask you something, Chris. When you were in school, I don't know exactly what neighborhood you lived in, but did you happen to have gangs in your neighborhood or bad people trying to influence you to do bad things? What did you do?
I did not. In Syracuse, New York, there were no gangs. No gangs that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, when I went through school, just like any regular kid, there are bad things, but something in me that realized that there's somewhere when you get to a certain age, you realize this is not the right way to do. You don't need somebody to tell you, it's just not right to do this. And this is the right way to succeed. I just knew that I had to get good grades. That was the only thing I was good at. And I played sports. I wasn't good in sports, but I wanted to participate, to learn to interact because I enjoy sports. Like any other kid,
I appreciate that. Chris, honestly, I appreciate your views so much because, like I said, you came here on a boat from Vietnam and you speak English better than a lot of people that I know. So I really appreciate that. And I appreciate your story. I saw you on Anton. If anyone gets a chance, please go look at Anton's interview with Chris. He went into detail about his story and how he came from absolutely nothing, including no parents. And he has made it. I appreciate you, Chris. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Nelson.
Hey, what's going on, Ameera? How you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. I love this conversation that you're having. I just heard so much foolishness from others. I wanted to jump on for a minute. So I heard the last conversation I heard was with JB, and then I just heard a little bit from Chris. And I respect Chris's his take, but he mentioned how having children before you are ready. That's a much more nuanced conversation because you do have to look at a lot of our kids. Like, so I work inside of a high school part of the day. We have young ladies there that don't have fathers in the home and are searching for love. So these young guys around here can easily get to their heart and convince them to do anything, and they end up having children and don't have the means to take care of them. So that, like, everything is just one big he mentioned the hamster wheel. It really is, but there's so much into it. It's the fatherless situation. It's it's this victim Olympics. It is part of it is the Democratic Party, because they pander like no other. Like, they are the biggest beneficiaries of our ignorance in the world, because all they have to do is take a knee and raise a fist, and they got the black vote, and that is the hugest is the biggest problem. So I would say the Democrats are pandering, Republicans are probably indifferent at best, and we keep waiting for some savior to come and fix our communities, and we never realize that the power is in our numbers. If we got active in our communities, we could keep our own community safe. We can get on our own school boards and make sure our kids are getting proper education, but we keep on blaming others for the part. Now, part of it is systemic, but we are not taking enough accountability on our own to fix the problems that we have. There is no way in the world. I mean, we're not even looking at the much larger issues that are going on in society with censorship and vaccine passports and mandates. Like, there are so many huge issues that are going to be affecting all of us, white, black, Asian, and whatever. We're so focused on our little state that we're not realizing what's going on around us, and it's really heartbreaking.
It's affecting everyone, and you're right. I mean, this also, we have the same thing happening in the white community. If you notice, single motherhood is rising in the white community as well, and this is causing, like you said, that wheel of problems, because I do believe it starts with us not having men with our women, with men not marrying in this country. In the West, divorces are more common than marriages, and it's absurd when you think about it. It's like the West, what can we do in this country that we live in to reverse that, to have everyone staying together and not divorcing?
Well, American value, part of it is our American culture, which is so individualistic that so compile the individualistic nature of America along with Black America, and how, so in our community, a lot of times in our communities, I'm not speaking for Black people as a whole or all communities, but there's this thing that we developed, this survival mentality that, like, we just have to get out of our situation. So in some people that works to their benefit, and some people works to our detriment. The people that it works to the benefit are the ones that focus completely on school because they are determined to get out of their situation. They're completely focused on money, and they become extremely successful. But because they had to do that from a survival mentality, there's no way they're going back into their community to help. And then when they do go back into their community to help, you have to face all the criticism of, you changed, you acting funny now that you got money, now you're a coon, all of these things. We have so many subdivisions, we have so much racism within our own community, within our own shades of color, and with our own socioeconomic status, that it's literally impossible for us to all come together. And that's what's keyed me into when Anton mentioned that not everybody can come along. I was only thinking about it from a mental health standpoint, but I understand now the standpoint he was talking about. And I honestly, I don't see a way. I really hope that something can happen that can help us as a Black people come together, and not just that, to understand that we all need to come together right now because of all the craziness that's going on.
Agreed. And when I say all, I mean, I'm talking about everyone. I'm talking about whites, Asians, Arabs, Blacks, everyone. We should be together and understanding that this is not just a color issue. This is a Western problem. And unfortunately, it affects certain communities harder than others. But nonetheless, it's still a Western issue. And we should see it that way.
Same thing with police.
Let me read something really quickly. We have a super chat from Jay Swiss. He says, Ameera, you have my respect and full support. Femininity and rational thought is much needed in this wicked world today. Agreed. Don't let some people try to tear you down. Stay strong and keep speaking the truth. God bless. Thank you so much, Jay Swiss. I appreciate the support. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. And like I said, that's why I'm here. I'm here to learn and not just be like a teacher. I'm here to learn as well. Some things we can learn from one another. I'm learning certain things from your community. You can learn certain things from mine. That way we can build together and be better, all of us. Thank you so much, Nelson, for joining me. I appreciate your view, and honestly, I agree completely. This is probably the first call that I'm like, I agree. I let you speak the whole time. I agree.
Keep doing what you're doing, because this is helping. So thanks.
Thank you so much.
Hey, how you doing, Ameera?
Hey, KJ.
I just wanted to say, you're right. It's not an issue of color. You know what I'm saying? And the sooner that we figure that out, what I'm saying, the better off we'll be.
Hmm.
Um, and emotion. We definitely got to start taking emotion out of it. I see on the platform a lot, what I'm saying, like mainly the other women, like they before you even, you spit your stuff out, what I'm saying, they already, what I mean, just it's more so who's saying it rather than what the person is saying. You know what I'm saying?
I think that too, but I dare not say that, but I say that
I
constantly.
mean,
Like,
you should,
yeah.
you got to, because that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. It's about making. I think this show is about making people better. You know what I'm saying? And we're
You had
not gonna
somebody
get better
apologize to you. You had somebody just apologize to you.
about what?
Somebody said that they apologized for a bonnet comment.
Oh nah, skull cap, skull cap, skull cap.
I thought it was funny.
Nah, I think as far as the Democrats and Republicans, you know what I'm saying, they two sides of the same coin. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's put in place to divide us. You know what I'm saying? And behind closed doors, they eating together, laughing and joking
Fist
together,
bumping.
all that. Yeah, you know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Laughing
Yeah.
at how stupid they make us look. You
Thank
know what
you.
I'm saying?
They are.
But I mean, that's pretty much. And as far as the Democrats, everybody think they're out to help us. I challenge people to go back and watch the all the seasons of The Wire, but don't pay attention to the drugs. Pay attention to the politics. Pay attention to the police and some of the policies that they implement. You know what I'm saying? And see how bad they are.
It's called
And
The Y, like
The
WH.
Wire, The Wire.
Oh, Wire. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I've heard of it. I just never watched it. Here, let me write that down. I'll put that on my list to watch later.
Yeah. But you go in there, you watch the politics, you'll see how it is. I got family in Baltimore. I frequent Baltimore a lot. And it's certain
Nice.
people in Baltimore, man, you can't change it. You can't change it. Only the it's literally places where they sell drugs right in front of the police. The police sit right there in the cars and they watch them. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, when you got stuff like that going on, it's not the people. You're not gonna change the people. They got an open market. You know what I'm saying? They making money. You know what I'm saying? So
Well,
you got to start somewhere else, and that's like mainly all the black communities all around. And we still
yeah.
voting Democrat. We still voting
Corruption.
Democrat. And yeah, that's why I want you to go back and watch The Wire, and you'll see all the corruption.
I
You know
will.
what I'm
I
saying?
will do that. I will. Like I said, I'm open to learning anything. If I need to learn that, I will.
Yeah, and
Thank
I
you so
appreciate
much
it.
for that.
I appreciate you on the show, man. And I think you should, stick around. I like your insight. I like your
Thank you
point of
so
view.
much.
And you need a contrast to everybody else. Like they say, the show is not about being an echo chamber.
Right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You're bringing tears to my eyes. Stop it. All right. Thank you so much.
All right,
Thank
you have a
you.
good one.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I just said hello to Americans know what salam alaikum means. Anyway,
Yeah.
two things. I watched the show quite regularly and all of the shows. And I saw there's two things I want to talk about. One was your disagreements with Courtney about the situation, because I have the best of two worlds, because I was brought up as a Christian and now I'm a practicing Muslim. My mum's from Jamaica and my dad is from Haiti. So I've lived like both lives. Now the thing is this, I think with Courtney, I think it's harder for Christians, in America, because they have the separation of church and state. And I think the issue is with the religions is that Islam is a daily thing. So like it's part of our daily life. The 5 daily prayers, the surahs we memorize, is part of our active like daily life. Now, as a Christian, they don't really have an example of how Jesus was on like a daily life. Plus, they have mainstream American culture, and they proudly say they have a separation from church and state. So meaning that on TV and everything else, the majority of Cardi B and all these rappers talking about sleeping around with all these different things and all this kind of stuff, is pushed on the mainstream. Now you're supposed to be a Christian. Now, if I go up to the average Muslim and tell them what does zina mean or what does fornication mean, they tell me straight away.
Zina.
Yeah, zina, fornication.
Yeah.
But the
Zena.
average Christian, when I was growing up, yeah, to be honest, yeah, I didn't really know what fornication. As a young Christian, so for fornication, the word fornication, it wasn't like a big bag thing to me because the society didn't push out to me that having sex outside of marriage, yeah, it's like almost that we was growing up as Christians, but boyfriend and girlfriend is just normal. I think Anton is the only one that's really been with his partner from
young,
yeah,
right?
from young, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wouldn't be married now. I'm Muslim now. I've been married for like 15 years now, yeah. I wouldn't be married if I wasn't Muslim. Yeah. Now the thing is this, yeah, is that when you grow up in America or the West or Europe, England or and so forth, the European countries or England or America, it's just normal to date, even though you're in a quote unquote Christian country. So what's happened is that, like, I don't think Jesus raved. I don't think Jesus, they don't have cigarettes. I don't believe they had it. He would smoke. I don't believe he would get drunk and this, that, and the other. But there's nothing really wrong with Christians like going to a club or like for us as Muslims, we don't really free mix. When the women come around the house, the women stay there with the women, the men stay with the men.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we don't go clubbing. We don't club. We don't have female. Like I don't have female friends that just chill out.
Can I ask you something, brother?
Yeah.
I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
Since you're Muslim and you understand me, I want to ask you, what do you think about the American way of dating? What do you think about this boyfriend and girlfriend culture? And do you think that because of how the American culture is, do you think that getting married earlier in your relationship will cause more divorces in this country? Or do you believe that it will actually create better relationships between the genders?
The problem is the problem in America and England is the biggest religion, yeah, is YOLO. You only live once. That this freedom, religion of freedom of just smoke, drinks, sleep around. Because the thing is, you got to understand the average young guy in America is growing up, yeah, and he's watching because he's growing up and he's watching movies and TV. So watch on a daily basis, you see music videos of a man fully dressed in a hoodie, a big jacket, tracksuit, and this, that, and the other. And he's got bare girls around him in underwear and lingerie and all this kind of stuff dancing around. And he's talking about how I'm going to sleep with this one and sleep with this one. Like when I was growing up, I listened to Snoop. Snoop used to say things that ain't no fun if the homies can't have the sum. Yeah. And he's basically talking about, it was a famous song, but it was underground. These times it wasn't played in shops and stuff. Snoop and Dre, all these people were underground before. And he had songs like was it? Yeah, ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. Where he talks about basically I'm gonna sleep with different girls and then pass them on to my brethren. Not in a rape way, but just like their objects, like pass them on.
Yeah.
Snoop has been promoted now to they gave him a Hollywood star. So now what are you teaching people? Snoop used to in his videos dress up like a pimp and used to call them I don't trust these bitches and hoes and all this stuff. And you're growing up as a teen, as seen this as a you're seeing these role models, yeah, and you're picking up this language and this, that, and the other. Even people who positive rappers, like they had like Tupac. Now, most people have a lot of love to Tupac and they would see him as a deep rapper, but even Tupac added to this. For example, Tupac had the reason why a lot of people like Tupac was because Tupac used to not just talk about girls, money, drugs, and cars. He used to
talk. He spoke about family values,
but he also contradicted himself because I used to be one of his biggest fans. So he would have songs like "Keep Your Head Up" and "Dear Mama." Yeah, "Keep Your Head Up" is a song about women who get left with babies, and he would basically say that, look, don't keep your head up. I know you've been left alone. These men that leave women alone are dogs, and basically don't worry about them. They're not worth it, and keep your head up because you're struggling. But Tupac also had a song called "I Get Around." In a video, he's like in a video with girls dancing around. He's half naked. The girls are all in fogs and this. They're washing him in the bath, and he's talking about the song is "I get around. I sleep around with this one, this one, this one. I have this type, this type, that." I get around is causing the keep your head up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I think he wanted to speak to different people in different times, and that's what made him so great because he didn't. Kanye West does the same thing where he has different topics, and but a lot of people I know it's controversial, like Kanye West, I know. But I want to say thank you so much for your point of view, and I agree completely that the music is kind of what's raising a lot of us too, because we hear these role models and they're leading us down the haram path. I agree.
One last
Thank you
thing,
so much.
one very last thing about the black people, very quickly. There has been many attempts with the black people. I understand that, yes, there's people that come from different countries and so forth, and they come from nothing and they try to put themselves. But I have to say, it's not a matter of black people should try it, but there is things goes against them. For example, if you look up Black Wall Street, have you heard of that?
Black Wall Street? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Black Wall Street, Rosewood. Not only that, Panthers. So there has been different stages where black people in America have tried to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and so forth. The CIA flooding America ghettos with drugs and stuff like this. The way that in black areas you get white areas the same drug, but coke and crack, and the different sentences and so forth. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. I need to take one quick break. Okay, I'll be right back.
No problem.
Give me 1 minute, guys. 1 second.
Shall I exit?
Yes, thank you. 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Hi, Bolo. Oh my God, Bolo. Okay, I know we're gonna be here for a while. Let me get water. Let me get some water. I already know when you come, it's gonna be a while.
Is that what it is? I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's good.
I'm
love
sorry
to hear
about
you
that.
speak. Okay.
So what's going on, Ameera? How you feeling?
I'm feeling happy. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to have a chance to speak with everyone one-on-one. This is something that I haven't had yet, so I really am happy about it.
So how you liking the network so far?
You know, I see a lot in JR because JR, I always say this to him. I don't know if he's going to get mad if I say this, but I always tell JR pretty much every time I speak to him that I respect his genius because he is taking he's doing something that is kind of risky, kind of hard to do, and he's doing it. Nobody else on YouTube is doing what he's doing. And you got to respect his genius. He's doing it, and I'm happy to be here.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So the topic, so the topic, I heard my man from the caller talking about, Christianity and I guess the perspective that men and women have here in America opposed to other countries. When we look at the culture here, there's a lack of discipline. There's a lack of focus here, and it doesn't matter what religion you're in. Even when you look at the Muslims that are here, they operate, some of them, like Christians do. They're not as strict because you don't have that disciplined core from society that other countries outside of America has.
True.
When you're in a country that says you're free to do whatever you want to do, it kind of makes you more of a slave to the situation because there are no parameters. You're free to go wherever you want to go and do whatever you want to do, opposed to saying, you know what, I know that if I do this, I'm compromising my core belief and my core understanding. And I think that's the problem that we have here, that when we are, as black men and black women, when we see other cultures functioning with code, let's deal with that, functioning with code. The way my definition of code is truth, my definition of code is consistency, integrity, character, which is something everyone should have. This is something that is put into children by parents. So when we don't have something like that, and you see someone moving in that aura, you tend to get offended. Not that that person is doing what they're doing, but you get offended that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. It's like looking in the mirror and having a two-edged sword cutting you, right? So it's like you know what you're supposed to be doing, but you're not doing it. And when you see someone else doing it, it gets you upset because it's a reminder to you on what you should be doing and how you should be acting. And I think we find that so much in our culture when we look at other cultures, and this is why we get that pride when we're taking when we're saying that we shouldn't be disrespecting our culture in front of anyone. There's a bigger grand scheme. There's a bigger grand scheme that's going on, where if we are allowed to just look at things simply and not look at it as deeply as we're supposed to, we're all going to get caught up in this nonsense of black, white. There are so many different other nationalities on the earth, but society, the powers that be, want us to focus on black and white.
Thank you.
Why is that?
Thank you.
It's a bigger picture that we need to see. It's like standing in front of a 50-foot painting of a Picasso and you're standing 2 inches from it, and you can only take in the perspective that your eyes can see. When you stand 50 foot further back, you take in a different perspective. We're not seeing the whole picture. A lot of us are seeing snapshots. And I think that it's all about perspective. Perspective is so important because how you feel affects how you see. And this is what, and when you have a bunch of people, especially here in America, when you have a country that has always lived in their emotions, it's hard to see things through logistical eyes. It's hard. Even when you speak to men and women in America, most of us start off our conversation with, I feel. Feelings have no context or rationale. Feelings let you know what the situation might be and how you might need to move. Context comes from your mental. It comes from your spiritual. And through those emotions, you connect with somebody. So, for example, if you're going through something and I'm not empathetic and sympathetic to you, meaning I'm not feeling you, the advice that I'm going to give you is not going to reach you because I haven't connected. So we connect through the emotion. We're not supposed to be emotional. We're supposed to connect through emotions. Emotional means too much. It means it's out of control. We're out of control. We're not talking to each other. We're talking at each other. And this is what seems to happen to us a lot in this country. We don't have a core focus at all.
Can I jump in just really quickly? I love your sermon. When you speak, it's almost like everybody just be quiet. Everybody be quiet. Bolo speaking. But I wanted to clarify something about code. And I'm finally starting to realize what it is. It's taken me a while. I'm a little bit slow when it comes to it. But Courtney had mentioned something about all races having codes and something like that. What I wanted to speak on about that is I think what she meant, because she spoke to me about an honor system that we have in Middle Eastern culture. We have honor system, yes, but it's not like a racial thing, like how she was saying. It's mostly family honor. We have a family honor system where it's like I can't go outside and my neighbor's looking at me and I look bad. I make my family look bad. I dishonor my family by making us look bad. That's one thing that we have, but that's a family honor code. Hence why you hear about honor killings in the Middle East. And yeah, those kind of things happening. So I wanted to clarify that we do have an honor code, but it's mostly to family structure.
Well, we used to have that too, back in the 50s and 60s, where there was an honor code, there was a character, there was a foundation. As we start getting into the 90s, 2000s, and here we are now, 2021, there is no code. Here in America, there is no code. You look in Christianity, They do whatever they want to do. You know, they say whatever they want to say, and they quote one or two scriptures, and that's supposed to be called a Christian. You know, when we look at Christ, because the gentleman that was on before said that there isn't a day-to-day accounting of how a man or a woman should live according to the scriptures. There is. It's just that men and women here today choose not to be held accountable. And that's the problem. You know, when you're talking about other countries that force or hold everyone accountable, it's different when you come here. It's different. It's a different mind, a different whole thought process when you come here. If you come here and you hold the scriptures to be self-evident in your life and you run your life according to it, they call you a zealot. They say that you're taking this too far. You know, how do you want me to live? I want you to live according to the book. You know, nothing is new under the sun. Everything is the same.
Everything is the same.
The same madness that went on back in the days is the same madness that's going on now. We know that the Most High or the prophets, their words don't change because it wasn't given by man. It was given by spiritual entities that we know see the future and knew it was going to happen. So that's why these words stand the test of time. So we just need
Bola?
understand that.
Bola?
They asked Michael Jordan. Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay.
Can
No,
you hear
I'm
me?
sorry. No, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
It went out for a second. I just wanted to say something.
Okay.
Oh, no, I missed it. Okay. Shirey said that she can't be the only woman who wants to call in. We encourage women to call in. And also, I saw the super chat that I wanted to shout out. It says, are we going to do a segment on her culture as well? I think it's a little weird to have this conversation with other cultures when they have issues as well. Sure, we can always talk about Middle East if you want. I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, there's a lot we can speak about. I think a lot of people, because we're speaking about issues in the West, they kind of want to hear the issues of the East as well, which is understandable. So, sure. But Shirey, you cannot be the only woman that calls in. I hope another woman calls in. Sorry, Bolo.
Yeah, I just want to say this, and then I'll let you get some other callers in. You know, a question was asked of Michael Jordan. I don't know if you know of Michael Jordan, the greatest NBA player to ever.
Of course, we know Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. The greatest NBA player. They asked him, why is it that you're so calm and cool and collected when it comes to pressure situations? You know, you take the last shot and we don't see you sweat. And his response was, this is what I practice for. I practice for situations like this. So if you stay ready, you're always ready. You don't need to get ready. So if you stay in shape, you don't need to get in shape, right? So this is the point that we all need to understand, right? There will be a day when we all meet our maker. There will be a day. And when we get to that point of where we're getting to, where everyone has to be vaccinated, no matter what your situation is, and you're starting to see things happening around this earth, and you know that there's a bigger picture being drawn. What's going to get you through is your discipline. Your discipline, your faith, your understanding, your truth, your logic. Don't think that if you don't have these things now, that they're just going to kick in when you need them to kick in. It doesn't work that way. You have to practice.
Bolo.
I'm going to tell you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Right. I don't know what happened to your sound. It went off.
Yeah. So, you know, we got to stay focused and we got to communicate. What's so important is communication, getting to know each other, getting to understand each other and learning from each other. Don't be afraid to speak to one another. And even when people say, let's learn about the Eastern cultures and learn what their faults are, just even in that statement, it's a prideful statement that's off. It's not about wanting to learn what the Eastern culture is about. It's wanting to learn about the flaws that they have, because we talk about the flaws that we talk about here in the West. That pride is no joke. That pride is no joke. And that's the problem that we have, and we got to get over. With that, I want to say thank you so much, Ameera. Look forward to seeing so much from you. And you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Bolo. Thank you so much for being here. And that's another thing I wanted to tell you. I'm not speaking about Black culture in particular. If everyone hears me, I'm speaking about the West. I'm speaking about what I see in America. These are problems in America. I'm not saying Black peoples. I'm not saying that. I think people are under the assumption that I'm just speaking about that. Some of the callers, yes, are speaking about the Black community, and I can't control that. But what I'm speaking about in particular is the West. Hi, TJ.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I hear you.
How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing okay. I'm happy to be here speaking with everyone. You look nice today.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I have to admit, I'm just tuning in, so I didn't hear the first part of your broadcast, but I'm looking at the hashtags of masculinity, femininity, and the traditional woman. So given that, I want to just kind of speak from the perspective of someone who I guess is a reformed modern woman. But I will start by saying, you know, I've been having a lot of talks with my mother lately because, again, I believe in gleaning as much as we can from our elders while we still have them. And my mother shared with me that, and I can only speak from a Black woman perspective because that's what I am, that's what my mother is. We were talking about the lie of feminism, and I know that we've talked about that on Lapeef. And the lie of feminism as it relates to the Black community was not really meant for Black women, because Black women, we were always working, or they were always working, even if it was cleaning someone's house or cleaning someone's toilet or being someone's maid. So Black women already worked outside of the home, but they still came home and took care of the family and cooked and cleaned and all of those things. But when feminism came around, it again was really not for minority women, it was primarily for Caucasian women, but Black women benefited from it. And it allowed us to go into areas of employment and education that many people didn't have before. So what happened was, of course, that took many of the jobs from our men, because the men weren't able to get the jobs. And really, and quite frankly, it's because they weren't seen as much of a threat as a Black woman. So what that did for us, it made us, unbeknownst to us, we were becoming more masculine without realizing it. You know, my mother talked about this commercial back in the day that talked about, I could bring home the bacon, I could fry it up in the pan, and I can still take care of my man, or something like that. Was a commercial that was like maybe 40 years ago. But again, that was the beginning of this movement and a mindset that we didn't even realize what was happening to us. So as we're taking on these additional responsibilities and trying to weigh the balance it between that and family, we're starting to look at it that being a housewife or taking care of the home is somehow less important. But we didn't realize it was even more important. Also, we didn't because even my grandfather, who was born in 1910, I remember talking to him because I was raised by him. He told me, he said, I don't want you to focus on getting married right away. I want you to go to school and get your education.
Oh, I see.
And so again, not realizing what had started, and again, not realizing by encouraging that, because when I went to the University of Oklahoma, many of my female counterparts, we were first generation college students. So, some of us came from single parent households, but some of us came from, 2-family households, but we were taking the steps that our parents didn't take. And we thought that
was a sense of pride. I'm sure it brought a sense of pride that you were the first college students, and
we thought part of that was to be somewhat independent.
Right.
But we didn't know that by being independent, we were separating ourselves from our men. And then with the mindset of the feminist movement, I am not ashamed to say at the time, I thought to serve my man was an insult. I thought to be considered submissive was weakness. How dare you tell me? But again, it was a mindset that we are brainwashing that we weren't even aware was happening until we start finding ourselves by ourselves. Because yes, we were climbing the ladder, but there was no one with us up the ladder.
Right.
And then we had to go back and say, well, what happened?
It's lonely at the top, isn't it? It's lonely.
What? Okay, quite.
Yeah.
So, again, but just like it happened overnight, we're going to have to undo it overnight. We're not going to be able to undo it overnight, is what I mean. So it means by taking baby steps, it means by people who have come to the realization, learning from my mom who said, we got it wrong. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know how we were advising our daughters and to what detriment. So by the time that I am able to meet the man of my lifetime, I was able to realize it was not a sign of weakness to be submissive to my husband. That was an honor. That was a privilege. That was a sign of true strength to know, hey, babe, you got it. What do you want me to do? What do you need me to do?
As your support system.
Oh my God. If I would have had a clue. But so I'm saying that to say, we as Western women and Black women specifically, we ended up on a path that we were not even aware that we were being indoctrinated into. We weren't even aware what was happening. So it's going to take some time, but it starts by, these conversations. It starts by even by learning from, and I said today earlier, I watched Good Times. If you haven't seen Good Times, go look at Good Times. It's an old 70s show.
It's a show?
It's a 70s show that really highlights a Black family back in the 70s. And I'm not going to lie, they had perpetual financial hardship, but the essence of the family was intact. Every day.
So wait, let me get my pen. Okay.
Sure.
It's called Good Time?
Good Times, yes. Good Times. You'll probably have to Google it because I'm talking about, this is a show that was maybe in the 70s. So
you think it's on YouTube?
Probably is.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but again, every day the husband was going out, whether he lost a job, whether he was looking for a job, every day he was going out. The wife was at home cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids, all of them in this small apartment, but the family unit was intact. And that's what we were. Even when we had, and I said earlier, my family was poor and we didn't even realize we were, because the family unit was intact. So that's
because the family was there.
That's what we have to get back to. And then when we can get all this other stuff on top of, but we need to get back to the family, the core family. I'm not going to keep you. I want to say, be encouraged. Just as you seek to learn from us, I ask that we all open our minds to be willing to receive. What we can use, what we can't, we can't. Okay? You have a good evening.
Yes,
and see you around.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you, TJ.
Bye-bye.
Wow. I have a lot of shows that I need to watch now. Wow, I have The Wire, I have Good Time. I'm going to have a busy weekend. I want to say thank you guys so much for being with me. I really appreciate it. And I'm learning so much. Like I said, I'm here to learn from everything. I'm not here to just debate everything. There are things that I need to learn too. I'm not saying I know everything. I know there's things that I'm ignorant in as well. But that's why we're here to learn. I'm still young yet, so forgive me. Hi, Detox. Is this Dim Detox?
In the flesh.
Is this Dim Detox? Oh my God, I finally get to see your face. Hi, Didi. Oh my God, welcome.
A couple things. I've been sitting here listening patiently, taking notes. So JB said that, one of the issues is that these schools don't have resources, which is not true. The federal government has been throwing billions and billions of dollars towards education in like ghetto areas and bad neighborhoods. And
Jim Detox, just really quickly before you go, because I know you have a lot. Are you Arab or are you, what is your nationality or race?
I'm mixed, mulatto.
Okay.
Yeah, my parents are from Belize, so I'm mixed, like Caribbean.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, not Arab though. I'm Spanish, black, and white.
Spanish, black, white. Okay. All right. Continue.
All right. So JB said that that money wasn't enough to fix the problem, which I think, yeah, I agree that because the federal government has been throwing money at inner city schools for years, and not a little bit of money, like a lot of money, that didn't fix the issue. I think a lot of the issue is that when we do send money to these schools, a lot of times the leaders, like the elected officials in these communities, they end up taking the money, so it never gets to where it needs to go. So throwing money at the situation is not going to fix it. And then he said that blacks need to control the money, but they do, because these cities, the elected officials in these cities are black, and for the most part have always been. So that point didn't make any sense. Another issue is that as far as school choice, the Democrats fought that. So we've had plenty of opportunities to make the situation right.
Yeah.
But the Democrats fought that. And the overarching problem is in the educational system is the teachers union. In neighborhoods where, we have that, or like, let's say like in business, when somebody doesn't perform to the expectations, what do?
We fire them.
You get rid of them. You get somebody who's competent. The control that the teachers unions have over these neighborhoods, it's terrible. Because one, you can't control what they're teaching, which is why we're having such a huge issue with critical race theory, right? Where they're telling kids not to tell your parents that you're learning this in school. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane. The other thing is that if we didn't have these teachers unions, we could just fire those teachers and replace them with somebody better. But we can't do that because of them.
The unions, right? The unions keep bad teachers there.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
it's like the problem is perpetuated over and over and over. As far as what Nelson said, he was saying something needs to happen. Well, what I think is that this is the something that needs to happen. People do need to talk about this, because if you're under the assumption that the issue is money and it's not really the issue, you're going to keep, trying to solve the problem that isn't really the problem. You're never going to find. If you want to address the actual problem. If you don't address the actual problem, you're going to keep having it.
Correct. I think we have JB. He wants to defend himself because I think he's thinking that you took his words incorrectly. Hi, JB. Welcome back.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, JB?
What's going on? Well, you said some of the stuff you said I agree with. Like the teachers union does use the kids as like pawns or to negotiate contracts and stuff, taking strikes. But when you say that black politicians control the money, that's not true.
So who does?
Money's not controlled by black people. You know that.
Who's the mayor of Chicago?
Oh, Mayor Lightfoot. She doesn't control no money.
So then who does control the money?
The money it's taxpayers' money. It goes into a pot and it's divided. It's all based on how much taxes you're paying into the pot. And if you're not paying a lot, you're not going to get it. You know that. Schools are funded by property taxes.
Yes, but they're also subsidized. Subsidized.
Yeah, the government pays a portion.
Heavily subsidized.
Yeah, and then they throw it into these schools that are public. I don't even believe in public schools. I believe in private schools. It will be a lot cheaper than what it is now. They're badly run, poorly run. They don't have really good teachers. Those teachers don't want to teach. I've been in those schools in Chicago, Bogan High School, crappy school. Teachers don't want to teach. You don't learn nothing. You could throw money wherever, but if it's not merit-based, if it's not ran like a business where people got to perform, there's metrics, you're not going to get results. Putting somebody in public school and thinking they're going to be competitive for the 21st century, it's never going to happen.
Okay. Well, I urge you to research who sets the budget. I urge you to research that.
I'll research. I already know. I mean, you need to research. That's property taxes.
So I asked you, who controls the money?
The money is. I told you, it's funded by it's all based on property.
I didn't ask who funded it. I asked who controls it. Who decides?
Like who divides it? Who divides it up and sends it to
how much
certain
public
places?
schools get?
Where does the tax money go? It goes into the IRS. They collect all the taxes, man. You know that, and it goes into a pot. Federal organizations control it, and people vote on it. So, like, if I stay in a depressed area, that doesn't pay doesn't have a high income, how am I going to get a good education? Like, I never got a good education. Even in some of the magnet schools, the education is crap. Like, I went to a really good school called Chad's, like an ag school. It's okay. It didn't prepare me for the 21st century. A lot of these schools are crap. You know what prepared me for the 21st century? Me. I prepared me for the 21st century. Being motivated to learn, being introduced, trying new things, reading books, talking to people, and trying new things and seeing what I like, what I was supposed to be doing for the first 18 years of my life, not learning a bunch of crap that I don't need, that I don't use today. Going to college, learning about subjects that I don't need, that I don't use today. The whole education system is a wash. I'm an independent. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in big government. I believe in private schools, private everything, no public schools. So you got me.
I hear you, JB, but I just want you to answer my question. So who is the elected official that controls the education budget in Chicago?
I'm not sure. But what is the you have no power. What are you gonna say to them? You have no political power. Black people in this country have no political power. What part of that you don't understand? Like, you can't get.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm losing it. Oh my God.
You know why? Because you guys don't really understand how America works.
Do you know how many Black senators, mayors, chiefs of police?
You're not really.
How is that not how?
Speaking on things you really don't understand.
Okay, tell me what I don't understand about us having African American mayors.
Hold on.
Just because you have an African American mayor doesn't mean nothing. In order for you to get agendas passed, you have to have a politician to push it forward. And the only way they have to be forced to push it forward, like by funding their campaign. If you don't push my agenda forward, I won't fund your campaign. That's what it comes with. It's money, man.
There are many Black senators and congressmen.
What have they done? They've done nothing. They have no power.
So, but whose fault is that? Whose fault is that?
I don't know. Why would somebody get in there and not do anything? You know who you need to look up?
JB, right, when you get a chance, Google Board of Education. Okay. City Council Board of Education.
Okay.
When you get a chance, just research that in Chicago. Right? Okay. That's all I'm gonna say.
And what point are you trying to make with that?
Rila.
Like, what point are you trying to make with that? Like
my point is that just research it. When you get a chance, research it.
Okay, I'll research it. Listen, I'm not the victim Olympics. I'm all about get up, stand up, and do for yourself. Connect with others and build. I'm all about that. But understanding this system that you live in is very important. Understanding white supremacy is very important for me as a Black man.
Well, let me ask you.
I say this respectfully. You're not Black. You're overseas. Like,
are you talking? Detox is Black, and he's saying the same thing that I'm saying.
I'm mixed. I'm quarter half, whatever you want to call it. Yeah,
mixed.
So you don't.
Whoa, JB. The thing is, I don't. JB,
you gotta relax, bro.
My sister is Blacker than you.
So wait. Hold on.
I don't have to be Black to understand.
Right. Hold on, Detox. Hold on. Real quick. Shout out to Ameera. Ameera, I'm gonna have to change my name to Rila. I'm about to change my name. Salute to you, Queen. Salute.
Hi, Rila. Nice to see you.
Because I have questions for both of you, brothers. But JB, you gotta relax, bro. Like, we don't listen, man.
Why so many people that are not Black speak on Black issues? I don't understand.
Yeah, but listen, bro, because you yourself are a self-proclaimed immigrant.
I'm not an immigrant. I'm born here. I was born here.
Okay, and your bloodline. Wait, hold on, JB. Listen, I'm not your enemy, bro. Okay. So your bloodline traces where? Because I've seen you speak on multiple platforms multiple times. So tell us about your bloodline again.
My parents come from Haiti. Yes.
Huh?
My parents come from Haiti.
Okay. God bless Haiti. We all praying for Haiti. You can't stun on Detox like that, bro. You can't do that.
He doesn't. He said he's not black.
Bro, listen. He didn't say that. I think before, and America, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think before I called in, I heard the brother specifically say what his bloodline was.
He's Belizean. Belize.
That's not black?
Some Belizeans don't consider themselves
bro. You doing JB, listen. It's okay to stand down and concede the point.
You know there's certain people who are Caribbean descent.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Identify as black.
All right, cool. So would you say Sean is not black? Sean from Belize.
He's Belizean. I don't know if
you don't consider Sean black, is what I'm asking you.
I mean, if I seen him walking down the street, I'd be like, okay, that's a black man.
My dad and his dad were
what does he identify?
Yo, listen. Okay, so look, I'm not tripping on that. I'm not tripping. I'm just listening to y'all brothers talk, and this whole thing with the school systems. What I did want to interject on, and I'm not gonna wild out and dumb out and all that other stuff. What I did want to ask specifically to both you, Detox, are you in Chicago?
No.
Okay. So it's kind of hard to speak on what's going on in Chicago if you're not from Chicago. Because when you talk about the politics, you talk about the mayor, you can't just say because we have a black mayor and then not add context. Because if you understand how Lori Lightfoot got elected and then you understand who she was running against, you would know between the two of them, nobody showed up. And it was it literally was the lesser of two evils.
Oh, God.
Nobody showed up. Nobody showed up to elect them. Listen, nobody showed up to elect either of them. That's a fact. Preckwinkle and Lightfoot, two black women. Nobody showed up in Chicago to elect them. So now when we move the conversation forward, and JB, I'm not sure what angle you're coming from, because then I will begin to press back on you, bro, with all due respect. Who is your alderman, JB?
I just moved. I have no idea. Actually.
What do you mean?
I stay in Alsop. I don't have no idea who the alderman.
So what do you mean?
I don't know who the alderman is.
Who is your congressman?
I don't know.
Who is your senator?
I don't know.
So then what are we talking about?
I mean, if you heard the whole conversation and what I said,
it doesn't matter what conversation I heard, JB. Okay. When you move, listen, I can tell you my alderman, my congresswoman, and my senator. And I can tell you, wait, hold on, JB. Okay. I can tell you I'm a headache to these people.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So when you come and you jump in the live, because bro, I agree with a lot of what you say, bro, but you've been jumping in a lot of these conversations and you got to relax, fam. It almost feels like when listen, the whole thing Thursday when Cass is calling me out and saying, yo, you slapping on your chest. When I say I love my people, bro, I could tell you who's on my local school, like my alma mater, Corliss on 103rd, right? 821 East 103rd Street. In Chicago. I could tell you who's the local school council district right there, right? I could tell you who all those people is. If you can't tell me the basics, bro, what are we talking about other than ideology and like rampant theory?
Okay, so let me break it down for you.
One quick
you really
question.
don't have to, because if you can't listen, if you can't answer me those things, JB, we're not about to have a real conversation. Yeah, I'm telling you that right now, and I'm telling you that respectfully, and it's okay sometimes to bow out.
Okay, let me ask you this question.
He's exactly right. You can't. Hold on, JB, quick question.
Hold on, let me ask you this question. I just want to ask him a question.
Go ahead.
What results has that gotten for the community? Tell me.
So now we talking solutions, right? Because I feel like you want to see, instead of you saying, hey,
what can I do?
And I rock with you, JB. Hold on, Detox, real quick, bro. I'm sorry. Just respectfully. real quick. JB, instead of you saying, hey, bro, you right, let me go research those things, because I know at least Chicago Rilla not coming from a place of malice and ill intent. You want to try and save face on YouTube because you decided to jump on multiple platforms.
So you saying you know all these things?
Hold on.
It doesn't really mean anything.
Listen, you're not listening, bro. You literally just got on the platform the other night. You could build YouTube.
Give me a chance to respond.
You're not listening, right? You're not listening.
Or something like.
I'll hear you out, but you're not listening to me. And what I'm telling you is, if you can't tell me who the person is that you voted for, what are we about to talk about? Because I could tell you who I voted for and who runs, who directly impacts where my kids go to school, or the kids in my neighborhood, the Pookies, the Ray Rays. I could tell you how I've been down to 111 precinct over there on 111 in Cottage Grove, right off of Cottage Grove, right off the damn Ryan. I could tell you how I'm over there regularly serving those men in blue because I appreciate what they do. I know who I'm talking to when I go over there. I could tell you about one of my classmates that's in internal affairs over there, right? So I could tell you all these things. I could tell you about how Alderman Bill comes from Corliss, and that's why I'm a headache to him, because he's serving in the same community where he graduated high school from. But if you can't tell me that, bro, I don't know what type of conversation you and I are about to have. And instead of you getting the point and saying, let me research, let me find out, let me invest, you want to get up here and grandstand. And I'm telling you, bro, I'm not doing an Anton on you. I just don't know how that's going to end for you, fam, because we talking two different things. Now, if you want to talk about how this is ultimately, how this has worked out, I'm going to tell you how this has worked out for our community. Tell me, JB, the candidate for office that you have groomed, that you have invested dollars in, that you have put up to run against whoever, and they have won.
I have not done that.
None of us have.
I think his point is real. His point is that he thinks it's like he sees a big scheme of things. I think that's what he's trying to say, but
it's not.
You know, you gotta know more than
would you concede me this, Ameera? Wait, JB, just real quick. I'm sorry, and Ameera, I'm not gonna pull a Wednesday. I'm actually gonna jump off this time. I'm gonna jump off. And I don't want to address what you said because I rock with you. 10 toes down.
Listen,
but
I'm not saying the stuff you're saying is wrong.
No, but what I'm saying, JB, what I'm saying is, if we aren't doing, listen to me, bro. It's okay to listen.
Are local.
But how long you gonna talk? You just lecture.
Politics are local.
I'm not a young boy, man. I'm 33 years old. You don't have to lecture.
Yo, fam, I'm not even finna tell you my age, and if I did, I would respectfully ask you.
Time to talk.
But listen to what I'm saying, because I've been respectful to you the whole time. Okay. JB, I literally have sat in a cut. Listen, I'm part of Lapeef Network. I have literally watched you jump from platform to platform to platform to espouse your views. What I'm asking you to do right now in this sister's moment is to relax for a second, bro. You've had shine while you're sipping your Corona. You've had shine for the last week and a half. Relax. Sit back. You want to be on camera? Learn something for a second, bro. Tell me about the candidate that you've put in office. And if you can't, then we're going to have a different conversation. And if we're not going to have that different conversation, because I can have that conversation, right? And what I would say is,
I think you're muted.
Oh, Rila, you muted yourself.
You're muted.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Hold on.
I really did. Somebody else muted me. I haven't touched.
Yeah, sorry about that. That was excellent.
I haven't touched anything. What I'm saying is, if I asked Ameera and I asked, about the Lebanese community, I guarantee you, in some shape, way, form, or fashion, she would be able to tell me about how, whether it was a person that looked like her or it was a person that shared the same views, that the men in that community or whoever, they galvanize resources and they strategize and they put people in office that advocate their beliefs. and their views. So if we aren't doing that as Africans in America, whether they look like me, whether they look like you, JB, or whether they look like Detox or Hannibal, right? Like, it's
Buttercup.
I mean,
Hashtag Buttercup.
What are we talking about?
So I don't know these politicians. I don't know these aldermans.
But you should.
I don't know none of these people. And maybe I should, or maybe I shouldn't. The way I help is I'm a part of a network organization that helps minorities get into tech. Men, women, gay, whoever. The way I help is I guide those individuals. I help them and I tell them like all about the careers, the path, and how to get into the industry. I even help them out with some of their code. That's how I help people. I'm not really believing that politicians can help that much unless you come with a bag. That's just how I'm looking at it.
You're looking at it different.
You're connected. You're
looking at it the completely wrong way.
We have to move on. I want to move on a little bit.
Looking at it like you don't have any. You're looking at it like you don't have any control of the situation when you do.
Yeah, but I can just help people within my circumference in my world, the people I'm connected with. There's nothing wrong.
Detox, real up. Guys, let him be. We gotta move on.
I got you. Go ahead, do your thing, Ameera.
Thank you so much.
Ameera, I'm rocking with you, ma'am.
I know.
Okay, I'm signing off, but I really am. I'm rocking with you, and I'm looking forward to these conversations, ma'am. All right.
Same here. Same here.
Thank you for having me up. Thank you.
Bye, Rila. Detox, I want to say it's been a pleasure to actually see who you are, to put a face to the name that I always see on my channel. You know, you're still a mod on my channel. I appreciate you every time and your support. Every live stream I do, you are front and center, and I appreciate that. Oh, stop. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on as well. I appreciate your views. Have a good night.
Take care.
Bye.
How do I get out of here?
I will get you off. Don't worry. Thank you, guys. I appreciate everything. Oh, my God. What a conversation. We almost had another Thursday happen, but that's okay. Thank you guys for joining me, and I want to say good night. Thank you, Rashida, for joining me. Thank you, Rated R. And Ameera is awesome. Thank you so much. And Shayna, I have seen you all over YouTube, and I want to say I agree with you on 95% of what you say. Thank you, JP. Again, thank you for coming on. Let's see. Who else do we have? Thank you, UK Investor, for coming on. Hey, Lynn. I remember seeing you as well. Bye, Lynn. Bye, Zara, and bye, King Buddha. Nice to see you guys. Thank you, Adam. I don't have any super chats. Larry is here. Larry is the one that I was trying to tell you who is my #1 supporter, and I appreciate you, Larry, very much. Thank you again. Thank you, Shana. April. Bye, guys. I'm going to go ahead and thank you, Ameera is awesome. I appreciate that. It sounds so weird saying my name back, but that's all right. Thank you guys for being here. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope we cleared up a few things that needed to be cleared up. And I hope you guys can get a better understanding of me. I can't wait till next time. I think I'll see you guys maybe Thursday. We'll see if I can join on Thursday if I have time. Thank you, guys. Good night.